Hello and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Now, on with the usual cryptocurrency reporting and commentary. We will be discussing Ripple and XRP today, along with the rest of the cryptocurrency and financial markets. And the recent events have made me give Ripple a lot of serious thought. We have definitely discussed Ripple's potential as a cryptocurrency bank in the past. In my opinion, Ripple is aiming to become not only a big crypto liquidity platform, but also a large crypto custody platform. This fits in well with what they're aiming for, and they're also working to bring banking services to the financially excluded, which might lead to Ripple becoming a crypto bank in the future. Keeping this in mind, I found myself remembering a few of Ripple's announcements as we take a closer look at Ripple and the latest developments. One example is the 2019 data announcement just made. It's business as usual in the banking industry. Those who don't have access to a bank. With the help of fintech, billions of people are living better. And now that we're looking into it, we're seeing a lot of that emphasis being widened. Ripple is seeking to bank the unbanked and underserved while simultaneously creating tremendous value for the payments industry. And it is in many of those regions that they have focused for quite some time. This is in line with their vision of the Internet of Value, so it has me thinking about it as well as the topic at hand. The Internet of Value, what it implies, and how it benefits everyone becomes clear when we visit this article from 2017, which I did mention in a recent video. However, there are a couple things related to this as we go down the page. Of course, they do cover the usual topics associated with making an international payment, such as the associated fees, turnaround times, and so on. However, this is all information that we already possess. Okay, so what I really want to discuss is this. Now, the solution lies in establishing links between different blockchains, as we can see if we scroll down this page. Obviously, there are also quants using Overledger, a major player. In the long run, I do believe they may be quite helpful here as well. However, I'd like to have her leave on the Interledger protocol because the company I'm about to discuss is quite important. As we examine this now. Interoperability. Why, yes, it is that. They would like to see fast resolution become the norm regardless of who or what is involved. In other words, everything of value is included here. At this point in our discussion, it's possible that this is a cryptographic message. Existing currencies are another possibility. What you may call fiat currencies. Stocks, bonds, and commodities are all examples of securities. Not to mention the use of tokens. Right. This would have huge implications because anything of value that can be tokenized can be settled with it. We've tackled the great issues of making cross-border payments faster, cheaper, and more reliable, and all of this fits well with the second phase of the Internet of Value. Now, they claim that this would expand financial inclusion for millions of underbanked customers, create totally new businesses and industries, and connect billions of people around the world to transact. In light of that, it's clear that this has enormous implications. And ultimately, a new economy, a new financial system, will emerge as a result of this. And again, I find this to be on par with what we've seen recently. However, I'd want to discuss the surprising ties to Mojaloop in this video. If you've been part of the XRP community for any length of time, you're probably familiar with Mojaloop. In the end, it's institutions of this size that make financial inclusion possible. Although this is a for-profit venture, its ties to Ripple and the wider fintech industry are extensive. As we can see, their director recently shared some of their real-time payment solution success stories at the Payments Canada Summit. The fact that approximately 80 nations around the world already use real-time payment systems is fascinating. But did you realize that real-time settlement is still absent from these real-time payment systems? This is where a lot of individuals get into problems when dealing with real-time payments. Settlements are not made in real time like in real life. My goal in bringing up this topic and this paper is to provide a comprehensive exploration of Mojaloop. I'm sure you've seen numerous videos recently discussing cryptocurrencies like Swift and Ripple. Based on what we see, this firm is up to date on the payment system trends. I think there is a lot of uncertainty about the future of payments when we examine Swift and its activities, as well as those of other companies. Personally, I find the notion of SWIFT lasting eternally implausible. New payment systems, in my opinion, will emerge. RippleNet and what RippleNet is doing with the CBDC platform is very intriguing to me since it parallels my earlier comments about the proliferation of CBDCs and the eventual democratization of the global financial system. Now, considering businesses like Mojaloop, we can see that Mojaloop's intended function is to serve as a reference model for payment interoperability that may be adapted to address the challenges that have impeded the adoption of digital financial services. Organizations can use the open-source software developed by the Mojaloop Foundation to create interoperable digital payment systems that facilitate low-cost, frictionless transactions between users, banks, government entities, merchants, mobile network operators, providers, and technology firms, bringing the unbanked into the modern digital economy. As we continue to scroll, it becomes clear how Mojaloop can be of use. There are some things that they explain away in this regard. Would any of the members of the sponsorship group be in attendance? I'm very aware that many readers may find this off-putting, but hey, it is what it is. These are the participants in this. So, yes, we can see Google, the Rockefeller Foundation, the Midas Box, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation all coiling. Now, let's scroll up to see when the next Interledger Protocol Summit will be held, 2022. Today was the 14th of November, 2022. For this reason, I think it's important to keep an eye on what Mojaloop is up to. In this article, we look to how Mojaloop technology is expanding access to and simplifying the process of making payments for people all across the world. Every day, new digital payment solutions become available. I believe that firms like Interledger Protocol are at the forefront of this movement as pioneers, as evidenced by the fact that, first and foremost, there is a direct relationship between the board of directors and COIL. The chairman of Ripple is Chris Lawson, who is also the chairman of the Interledger Foundation, the founder and CEO of COIL, and a co-creator of the Interledger Protocol. Additional attendees include representatives from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the CEO of the Jordan Payments and Clearing Company. Here we have the president and CEO of Interledger Protocol as well as one of the protocol's co-creators. Ripple and COIL, two important actors in the Interledger Protocol ecosystem, are also among our backers. Again, as we examine their efforts with Mojaloop, we see that they want to make it easy and cheap for people all across the world to use digital payment systems. The mission of the Mojaloop Foundation, a non-profit organization doing good work in the world, is to make financial services accessible to everyone. The organization's goal is to aid developing nations in creating digital financial services that are available to all people. Some of the featured items are shown to us as well. Their work is available for investigation as well. In case you were interested. That's not something I'm going to do in this video. Even if you're into quant and overledger, I think it's important to pay attention to the Interledger Protocol. While I agree that the two systems work well together, it's worth noting that the Mojaloop includes the Singapore Monetary Authority, a major stakeholder in the Ripple ecosystem. Of course, Ripple is present, and so are a few of the promoters. There are some really important ties here, and when you look at the leadership of Mojaloop, notably their chairman, you'll find an unusual character with a rich history that makes him stand out. You are, however, free to peruse these names at your leisure. I decided to learn more about the chairman since I was intrigued by his resume. Obviously, some of these other people also have extensive experience. For instance, if you were interested, you could learn everything there is to know about them online. Many of them come from wealthy families, but the chairman stands out because, for one, he was previously employed by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. In fact, he has been providing financial aid to the underprivileged for the past 9 years and 10 months. Here, however, we find that he's still active in his role as a board member of the Interledger Foundation. Please let me return as well. Sorry. Swift is also present. He's been employed at Swift for about 23 years and 5 months at this point. And much of this has evolved into or is focused on serving as chief architect of their network and their private messaging network. We also know that he co-founded InnoTribe and served as its director of product management and head of innovation. Looking deeper, we find that he has extensive experience developing payment networks and systems. The more I learn about the people that inhabit and study the space, including Andre Casterman, the more intrigued I get by this topic. For instance, he shares an ancestor with Swift. I believe that the eventual demise of Swift is due to the fact that many of its personnel are leaving to work on more ambitious projects related to the digital economy. It's possible I'm wrong, though. And yet, Ripple has joined the Loop Foundation and its initiative to provide banking services to the world's 1.7 billion unbanked people. In light of this, I'm convinced that Ripple is laying the groundwork for a prosperous future in the Web3 economy and the Internet of Value. A more equitable monetary future is being crafted over at Ripple and the Loop Foundation. And if you're interested, you can go through all of the questions in this section. However, I believe that what we have been witnessing around Ripple is the Internet of Value centered out on the quickest and cheapest means of moving money. Something huge is occurring with Ripple, and it's putting the spotlight squarely on what they're doing at the moment. And again, most of discussion is still centered on XRP, despite widespread insistence that the cryptocurrency will not be used. We both know it to be untrue. XRP is the magic ingredient, we all know that. It's like the motor oil that keeps the economy running smoothly. In addition, I find the latest Ripple advances to be rather noteworthy. If you aren't paying attention to Ripple's efforts outside of the cryptocurrency space, you should start. They're working with some pretty big names, and it's all leading up to the finish line or the last mile, as they put it in a blog post of bringing the Internet of Value to fruition. Companies like Mojaloop, which have connections to the most extensive financial system, will facilitate this. Swift, and as I've already mentioned, we're seeing a lot of staff, a lot of high-status personnel as well, like folks who were there for 20 years or more, moving away from Swift and instead focusing on what seems to me to be the next financial system, a system that goes far beyond what Swift can offer. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the section below. I find these links to highly prominent figures to be quite alarming. Basically, Mojaloop is a household name at this point. This is, as I said, not breaking news. If you've been keeping up with the news, you'll know that we finally saw Ripple join Mojaloop in 2020. Recent events, however, have prompted me to reconsider my previous assessment that Ripple is not interested in providing cryptocurrency custodial services. I believe they're concentrating on crypto liquidity services. However, I do believe that Ripple has the potential to lead the crypto banking industry in the future. Even while I could be incorrect, I think this is inevitable given their current preoccupation with cryptocurrency custody. Finally, I wish you all a good time watching this video. Because I provide this information for free, if you enjoyed it, please hit that like button, subscribe, and enable notifications. See you in the next video. Bye.